Okay, Megovanen everyone, welcome to my reaction video for Stranger Things Season 5. This is the official teaser trailer for it. I feel like they waited far too long to let this out, but also even just to film it. I'll even say that I feel like they went too long between, the seasons, maybe even starting, everything after maybe season 3 or even season 2, I think it took them nearly 10 years, maybe 10 years, to get out 5 seasons. So they have that amount of growth, and even though they're trying to stunt their growth by a little bit, they do the time jump thing, but the time jump doesn't seem like it still coordinates with the ages they're supposed to portray. They're in their 20s now, I have to say, and it just doesn't match up, and that's the problem when they wait too long. Now they're too old now, so but let's see how this is. Okay.
Burn commencing in 5, 4.
Are they still giving them the bikes to ride?
2 and
Trying to employ the same tricks. So,
and
the goosebumps on the back of his head. Was it the second or third season where they were all dressed up like Ghostbusters, and he had come back and he kept this guy, I forgot his name, but he kept slipping in and out of reality and the upside down world, but he's just a kid, and then they're trying to not really trick us, but they're trying to keep our attention with that, to make us still, to suspend our disbelief that they're still not as old as what they're supposed to be. But
after what we've been through,
what was the years
thing.
on that? 86, huh? Burn in hell. Didn't they leave this similar message? Not the same franchise, but Carrie, the Brian De Palma Carrie, at her gravestone, didn't it say "Burn in hell"?
After what we've been through, this thing.
See, that guy who was standing over the grave, he kind of kept like his youthful look. That kid,
It ties us together
but
forever.
everyone else. And her, she's just, 11, completely grown. Oh, we have Linda Hamilton, okay.
Wherever this blood leads. I need you to fight one last time. Let's end this, kid.
Kid. Not a kid anymore. The final season, yeah, of course, it's. I still want to see it, and I have a moderate level of excitement just because I want to see how it all ends. Mind you, my complaints are, I think they're pretty much, a lot of people have like a similar complaint, anyways, about that. I think it's just, a little criticism, I guess, but it would have been much better, I feel, that if during this 5 season, it took only 6 years, maybe 7 at the absolute most, but I think 6.5 years would have been okay to do it. Then they wouldn't have to really do the time jump like so badly, like what they did, and have to do it multiple times to explain, time jumps, especially when they, well, I guess I kind of feel that, time jumps are, for a series, is they do it when the actors, have grown, too old, that, they won't pass for, last year or last season. So, like I said, Star Trek The Next Generation, the one with the Borg, when they were they first introduced? No, they weren't first introduced, but because Q introduced them to the Borg, the first time. But it was a finale, and there was a new commander of, to replace number one. Her name was Commander Shelby, I believe, a blonde. And the Borg had captured Captain Picard, and he became Locutus of Borg. And that ended on a cliffhanger, and then when the next season began, there was no 5-year time jump, 2-year time. It just continued right off. Here, this is the 5th season. The 4th season ended where, Hopper was back, and they're looking upon the field, and you see the clouds, and part of the underworld has already bled into the reality, into that that fictional city or town that they're from. I can't remember now. Their hometown. And it ended. If they didn't have to, if they didn't wait this long, to make this final season, it pretty much would have continued either from that point or the next day, and that's, I would have been more interested in seeing that, a continuation from that point, not some time jump and this thing that's going on. That is just my 2 cents, though. I'm still moderately excited to see it. I'm more curious to see it, and I do want to see it because it's the end. It's gonna end, and I'm a fan of Stranger Things, particularly the earlier seasons, but even the one with Munson was also quite cool. But it just gets a little awkward because they're trying to hold on to those same tricks and the coming of age tricks that they employed, and it really wasn't a trick back then, but it's just the product of its time back then, like things like The Goonies, Stand By Me, and Toy Soldiers, things like that. I can't think of some other, even though that's a bad example, and I'm talking about the made-for-television show, It. But you understand those coming-of-age films back in the day. They're trying to do that, but it starts to not look right, and it gets kind of odd, when they're, as they're getting older, and they're still employing those same techniques. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents, and I'm excited, and see you.